This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 392, The Importance of Enjoying the Habit by Babauta of Zen Habits.net, and I'm Justin Malik. I'm your narrator today, and every single day of the year for as long as I can physically keep this up. And wherever you're listening to this started as a podcast a little over a year ago to help me come to terms with performance anxiety, to really try to speak more while reading inspirational and motivational content to help both of us have more meaningful lives. And the authors have been super generous in letting me read their content to you. It's been amazing, and I hope it's having a positive impact on your life too. And I'm sure with the new year, there are some new listeners who are searching for content to help keep them motivated and inspired for the new year. If you're new or one of those people, stick around for as long as you can. Just 10 minutes a day of this podcast will change your life, I promise you. It's worked really well for me, and I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without it. So try it, subscribe to the show, and optimize your life with me. One of the biggest things we can do to optimize our lives is change our habits, which is a lot easier said than done. So I always like to hear tips and tricks and motivation to help us do that. So with that, let's hear a post from one of the most well-known bloggers about habits as we optimize your life. The Importance of Enjoying the Habit by Babauta of Zen Habits.net. I've written a lot about habits. It's in the title after all. And after all these years and after all the questions that people have asked about forming habits, there's one thing that seems more important than anything else. It's simply this: enjoy the habit. That might seem obvious to some of you, but you'd be surprised how many people try to force themselves to do things they don't enjoy. They try to instill discipline because they think it'll make them a better person or give them a better life. But what kind of life is it if you force yourself to do things you hate all the time? And here's the thing, if you try to make a habit of something you don't like doing, you're almost sure to fail. I know because I've tried it many times. If I find myself saying, I hate this, but I can do it, then it's an uphill battle and one I almost always lose. Because after a week or two of doing this, you'll lose enthusiasm. You'll run out of the incredible energy required to form a new habit, and then miss the habit one day and another day, and soon it's over. But look at the opposite scenario. You do something you love doing. Well, how hard is it to motivate yourself to do this? You look forward to it. You are excited about it. When you actually do the habit, you're happy and your overall experience is positive. That's a habit that is much more likely to stick. I've done dozens of experiments in creating habits in my own life, and I've helped hundreds, if not thousands of others form habits, and it's a common theme. When the person doesn't enjoy the new habit, it fails. But when they do, it has a high degree of success. Sure, there are other factors, how consistent you are, whether you have a trigger that's already anchored into your regular routine, whether you have social accountability, etc. But the most important factor by far is loving the habit. The things we don't like. I'll acknowledge there are times we have to do things we don't like. That's a necessary part of life. But why choose such a thing to become a daily habit? If that's what you're doing, you should take a long, hard look at whether it's really necessary, and if so, whether you can possibly make changes to your life so that you don't need to do this activity on such a regular basis. I've done this many times, and though the change in my life is sometimes time-consuming, the result is always worth it. But what about kicking bad habits? Isn't that hard and unenjoyable? Sure, of course. I kicked the smoking habit almost 5 years ago, and it was difficult, agonizing. Fortunately, I figured out that I had to put enjoyable habits in place of the smoking, and I actually looked forward to them. Things like running to relieve stress, eating healthy foods, writing, stuff like that. I love those activities, and it made the whole process much easier. How to love the habit. This how-to section will seem too obvious to some, but it seems necessary to me. How do you go about enjoying the habit? 2 ways. Number 1, choose a habit you already love. This is the easy way. If you love reading or drinking tea or journaling or taking walks in the park, choose something like that. Want to get active? Choose a sport you love playing or an outdoor activity that gives you joy. Want to be more productive? Choose a work activity you love doing as your first task each day. Or, number 2, focus on the enjoyable aspects. If you don't already love the habit, learn to love it. Not by reprogramming your mind to love something you hate, but by finding things about the habit you do enjoy. For example, when I started running, it was hard. I was a recent smoker, so my lungs were and my legs were weak, and I'd get tired fast. But there were things I enjoyed too. Getting outside, the fresh air, moving and feeling my heart beating, the beauty of nature, the good feeling after I was done. So I focused on these things, and it worked. And then eventually the running got easier and I loved everything about the activity. This kind of thing can be done with almost anything. Look hard for the good aspects, the things you enjoy. If you can't find anything, you've chosen the wrong habit. In the end, discipline doesn't work. You can't use discipline to form a habit you hate because what exactly do you do when you don't feel motivated to do the habit? You find something about it to get you going, and that's thinking about something enjoyable, the enjoyable end result, for example, or an enjoyable reward, or how good you'll feel telling others you did it. There are many ways to motivate yourself with something enjoyable, but no ways to use the nebulous concept of discipline to do something you hate. Love the habit, and it will stick around longer. You just listened to the post titled The Importance of Enjoying the Habit by Babauta of ZenHabits.net. I thought that was really helpful. Hopefully it was for you too. And you might have noticed, especially if you're a long-time listener, that I haven't had any ads on this show in quite a long time. And we have 4 podcasts and none of them have had ads in months, I think. I know Optimal Health Daily and Optimal Startup Daily have never had ads at this point. And we do lose money every month to make these shows happen. So if you're interested in helping out financially, you can do a one-time donation, or if you're on a computer, it'll give you the option of doing a recurring monthly donation too. And either is a huge help. You can find that at oldpodcast.com/support, or even if you can't donate financially, that page has a bunch of different ways you can help out. Again, that's oldpodcast.com/support. And I'll leave it there for today. I hope you have a great start to your weekend, and I'll see you in the Saturday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.